Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel and another episode of Everyone Should Know Music. By far, by force, you know music. Now, today, remember on the last episode, we started musical sounds and we spoke about how the human voice is the most natural source of sound. So, today, we are going to be going into the other aspect of musical sound, which is what we call the instruments. Musical instrument. There are two major sources of musical sounds: the human voice and musical instruments. Now, just calm down and go with the flow. Now, there are four. Okay, let me say there are two basic classifications of musical instruments. There is the Western classification and there is the African classification. Now, the Western and African classifications are just vary in the kind of instruments that were developed in both phases. But for the purpose of this particular video, would be taking on the Western classifications first, although I'll chip in the African too so you don't get confused. Now, the Western classifications, in the Western classification, there are four basic major categories. There is what we call the string instruments, there is the wind instruments, there is the percussion, and there is the keyboards. I'll go again: strings, winds, percussions, and keyboard. Now, musical instruments produce sound, they vary in producing sound majorly that the means they are being played and what they are made of. Now, remember I said we have strings, we have winds, we have percussions, and we have keyboards. Now, we'll take strings for this particular video. Now, strings instruments, from the word itself, strings. In the African classifications, you call them chordophones. 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 Strings in Western, chordophones in the Africans. Now, strings instruments are, from the word itself, strings. They produce sounds when strings vibrate on their body. So they produce sound majorly by vibrating strings. Do we understand? They produce sound majorly by vibrating strings. Now, there are two kinds of strings instruments, another subgroup, two kinds, because there is a slight difference between these two types. There is the bowed string instrument, bowed, Bowed, and there is the plucked string instrument, Plucked, plucked and bowed. Now, what is the major difference between the two? I'll give you an example. There is the violin and there is the guitar. Both are string instruments. They produce sounds when you play the strings attached to your body and the strings vibrate. Do you understand? But there is a major difference. A violin is a bowed string instrument in that you need an external material you call a bow for that for the string to be able to produce the kind of sound it was made to produce. Do you understand? While for guitars you need your fingers or what you call a guitar pluck. This one right here, a guitar pluck, to make it sound the way it was meant to be sound. You cannot pluck a violin for it to produce that resonating sound, and at the same time you cannot bow a guitar. Although both are strings, but there's a difference between the strings they were made of. So you bow a violin, you pluck a guitar. Other examples include, for both instruments, you have the violin family, where you have the violin, the viola, the cello, and the double bass. And for string instruments, you have the guitar, the lead guitar, the acoustic, the box, the bass guitar, and in Africans, we have the banjo, we have the harp, HARP. No, harp is not African anyway. Which harp is a plugged string instrument too. The HARP, another harp. This one right here. So those are string instruments. Generally, they belong to the same family, string instrument, but then they belong to different mothers. Violin, viola, cello, and double bass belong to A in the string family. They belong to the bowed string family, Mrs. Bow. And then guitar, acoustic, bass, banjo, harp. They belong to Mrs. Plug, plugged string instrument. I hope you have enjoyed this episode and you know the difference. Now there will be a quiz at the end of this video and if you endeavor to take it so you keep understanding, and also ensure you follow this channel, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications button so that you won't miss any episode of any video we drop. Thank you. See you on the next one. We'll be talking about another kind of musical instrument. Thank you.